The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys!
Blowing out of the backfield, exploding down the sideline.
This is Hangin' with the Boys, presented by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now, your hosts, Nate Newton, Kurt Daniels, Jesse Holley, and Shannon Gross.
It is Victory Monday, and I'm talking serious Victory Monday. And I got to say, Alex Chavero last night, he said Victory Monday can't be the usual. It needs to be something special and different. And Alex, I'm afraid you have got your wish because this is going to be different. I am at home sitting in the big boy chair for our man Shannon Gross, who is God knows where. Jesse is having some technical issues trying to get dialed in, but the star of the show...
No, I'm in. I'm here. I'm here.
Jesse's here.
I'm
All right.
baby.
He's here.
I'm here.
And, of course, we've got the star of the show, our man Nate Newton, is in studio. He's ready to roll. So what do you boys think? How you guys doing on this Victory Monday?
Man, I'm great, man. But it's 75 degrees in Frisco. It's partly cloudy. We don't have a big screen up here because we don't have Shannon and his huge head to reflect it off of.
His huge head.
Yeah.
Nice. Have you guys recovered from that beatdown last night?
I am ecstatic. I think this is what we've all been wanting to see. We've seen this defense play really well the last couple of weeks, and we've finally seen this offense kind of get back to its original form of what we thought they would be throughout the entire year. This was what we wanted, and this is what you should do to lesser than teams. They had a short week. You know, they were missing some guys due to COVID. That's just the norm of what the National Football League is right now. But the one thing that I will say that was, for me, was the most important thing was, you know, Amari came out early in the week and he was vocal about, hey, I need to get the ball more. Like, that's just what it is. Like, get me the rock. And he said it so eloquently, but he basically did what Keyshawn did many, many years ago. Throw me the damn ball. Like, third downs, throw me the damn ball. We got red zone woes, throw me the damn ball. In between, throw me the damn ball. And I promise you, when you throw me the damn ball, everybody else will eat as well. CeeDee Lamb found his hands last night. The O-line looked good. We had some good bursts in the running game. I mean, offensively, we saw them get back into a groove. But you know what? As an offensive guy, as a receiver, I still got to say, Kurt and Nate and Chris, this is still a defensive-led team. Without a shadow of a doubt, this team is led by the defense, and they showed up and they showed out again last night on the defensive end of the ball. So I am ecstatic. I was so happy what I saw last night. It gave me a ton of confidence, and now we have to just continue that trend heading into January.
Yep. Nate, you've been talking here for a few weeks about needing to see the complete game. I think you gave him an 8 a few weeks ago. What was this?
That right there was close. That was the eruption last night, man. That was big time, bro. That right there, man. I'm just so upset that one young man is not on this show because he's the one been needing to see it. You know, Mr. Head So Large Shannon Gross is the one that needed to see it. Me, I've been. You guys know I've been saying it's coming, it's building. Now, what I did need was for our receivers not to drop the ball. I don't need our receivers to drop the ball. That did not happen. We needed for our offensive line to be a little bit more consistent. That did happen. And our quarterback to get some of his swag back. We saw a little bit of that. So I'm happy. They're building. They got a good team coming up this week. Somebody that's an equal talent. It'll be a little dog fight because the other team need to win. I'm just, man, like I said, I'm doing Jesse thing. I'm just beating the desk, man. I'm just happy. Go ahead on and talk, Jesse, so I can beat the desk.
You know, something else that we saw last night, Dak Prescott, 4 rushes for 21 yards. And no, it's not a Lamar Jackson 100-yard rushing game or Kyler Murray busting off a 60-yard run. But what it was is we finally saw our quarterback run. Like, When the pocket breaks down, when things get a little bit haywire, it's okay for you to tuck the ball and go get some yards. Coming into this game, I think he had like 4 first downs via his legs, and he had 3 of them. He had 3 more last night. So those little things, we're not asking Dak to be Lamar Jackson. Right. We're not asking Dak to be, we're not even asking him to be Josh Allen as far as athleticism, right? We're just saying, and we're just all screaming, hey, bro, when that pocket breaks down or that eternal clock goes off in your head, tuck that bad boy and go get 3 yards, right? 3 positive yards is much better than a 4-yard sack or a forced throw downfield, right? Every time, you don't have to be greedy. He mentioned that a couple weeks ago about, sometimes I get a little bit greedy trying to make the big plays and knock out blows. But go get that 4-yard run. Go get that 3-yard run, because what you do now is you put in the back of the mind of those defenders, linebackers specifically, that you know what? He will tuck it and run, because they haven't seen any remnants of that this year. Right. So they're able to play back in coverage more so than not. But when you go out there and you show them that we will go out there and throw the ball and we'll run the ball, and when everything else fails, I will tuck this bad boy and go get 4 or 5 positive yards. That for me was another positive thing to see from him.
What, he had the longest rush with 13 yards last night?
Longest rush last night.
Yeah. I think David Hellman had written something in a mailbag column online about Dak's rushing, and he said you don't need a bunch of yards from Dak. If you get 20 yards from Dak, that could be 3-4 first downs, which moves the chains. That's all you need out of him. Like you said, Jesse, that's another threat that kind of opened things up.
Wow, man. Like you said, Jesse, that could be another threat that opens things up. It's just good to see Jesse backing into a rhythm, man. I mean, he won't shut up. Go ahead on, Jesse. I'm loving you.
Me and Kurt have been trying to bring the world back. We're such a divide in the world. Kurt and I have taken it upon ourselves to bring you see what my shirt says? My shirt says unity, right? Me and Kurt have been trying to bring back America one show at a time. And you always trying to separate us. You always trying to separate
I'm loving it,
the
man.
unity that Kurt and I are trying to bring back together.
You're preaching, and every preacher needs a deacon to be over there and say, take it, preach. And that is my boy. That is my boy, Kurt. I'm just over there beating the drums, baby. Keep going, Kurt. What's your next question to your pastor?
Oh, man. All right. Well, hey, sticking with Dak, I thought overall he looked sharper. I mean, his passes looked harder. He's throwing harder. He just had better accuracy. What happened? What was the sudden change? Is the guys on TV suggested that maybe he did find a mechanical thing that he corrected. What did you guys see? What was the difference here?
Go with Jess. Come on now.
Jump all in at once.
Okay, I was going to give you a chance to talk.
No, sir. I'm beating the drums.
I think one of the things that they did, and I talked about this a week or so ago, of just sometimes during the season, guys go back and they get with their personal trainers or whoever they work out with in the offseason. They do some tune-ups. And we heard that they were doing some extra reps after practice. They initially said that it was just because practices are shorter, but they made an assertive effort to go out there with receivers, with quarterbacks, with running backs, the starters, Dak and Amari and CeeDee and those guys, and get some reps after practice. And again, we all know that Dak has the Dak yard and he has the big football field in his own backyard. So I'm sure, I don't know for sure, but I want to say I know for sure that he made a phone call and said, listen, I need some help, and called in Tom House or whoever it is that he works with in the offseason to come to the Dak yard and get some more working on his mechanics. And I think the way that Kellen Moore helped him was you saw much more up-tempo last night, right? You saw them saying, we're going to get to the line of scrimmage. We're going to get out there. And a lot of his early throws, they weren't down-the-field throws. They were quick out routes. They were hitches. They were things right over in front of his face. So those weren't passes that necessarily you got to have a ton of accuracy to connect with, but those are passes that when you see them complete, it gives you confidence and it gives you a little bit of momentum to continue on the progression of the day.
Thank you. Thank you. Jesse is so on point. I mean, it's amazing how Dak found his swag and Jess has found his at the same time. Wow. That's sweet.
He called some people. He called Tom House. I called my therapist. So we both been working out. You know, he got the Dak yard.
Yeah.
You know, I got the basement. So we both been working on with our individual people, just trying to get our swag back. That's it.
I'm gonna tell you, this is what's so amazing to me, Jess, and to Kurt, is the fact that we went out there and within the first series offensively, and they were gonna try a trick play and lose all that yardage. And once again, we talked about it last week.
When that happened,
what did it take to get us going? Is our defense. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Heineke, is that his name?
Yep.
Yeah.
Can you believe he said, you know what? I got a 50-50 guy, and I'm going to try Diggs. I'm going to run a fly route, and I'm going to try Diggs. And I'm going to open this game up. I'm going to break the game open. That got to be a joke, man. I told y'all 2 weeks ago, and I'm telling you now. That right there don't work. That quarterback don't work.
Funny? You know what's even more funny, Nate? Is that Heineke said that, and there was an offensive coordinator and a head coach that said, "You know what?
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what? I let's do it." I mean, it honestly, because when you look at with Terry McLaurin and the way that he's been played against the Cowboys,
right.
He's been basically shut down and haven't really got the reps. I think he was having the same conversation that Amari was having this week. The difference is the difference is. You know, and this is no shade to Tyler Heineke, but there's some shade in this, but it's no shade to him. The difference between the two is, and I think Terry McLaurin is an absolute stud as a receiver. You got the dude who was on his sister couch last year.
Right.
We got the dude who were paid $75 million to. There's a difference. There's a complete difference. So when you start wanting to attack dudes, down the field, I much rather have and like the way my quarterback and my offensive coordinator went about getting our number one the damn ball, opposed to how their offensive coordinator and their quarterback chose to get their number one receiver the ball. First play, go route on Diggs. I'm like, you could have picked Anthony Brown. You could have picked Kelvin Joseph.
Kelvin Joseph's a guy.
Yeah, like don't go at the big dog right off the gate. Like at least warm up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? A little foreplay. He just try to rip the panties right off.
Right. So they were obviously hoping to make a statement.
He ain't trying to rip them off,
they were obviously trying to make a statement.
I'm sorry.
Hey, man, you missed that out, Kurt. But anyway, I'm gonna tell you something. You know what kind of. This is what I've been waiting on for 3 or 4 weeks. I'm saying because Amari's talked during training camp more than he ever has, and I'm waiting to how long will Amari just be ignored? I mean,
yeah.
For him to do it in the correct way, he didn't crush nobody, he didn't go at nobody. But you paying this dude $1 million a game, and you ain't gonna throw him the ball. That did not add up.
Let's take a break.
Let's take a break.
Get some sponsors.
Can I beat the drums going out?
We'll come back.
Can I beat the drums going out faster? How about that, Deacon?
We'll come back and talk about Amari. We need to get into that defense a little more. Still a lot to discuss here on this Victory Monday. We'll be right back.
Don't rip them off, Kurt. Don't rip them off.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Brace yourself for an existential question. Has your butt been having enough fun lately? Have you been treating it well? Has it been going places? If not, then it's about time you start using SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the best way to get your butt tickets to live events. Just ask the thousands of other butts who have rated it the #1 ticketing app. So what are you waiting for? Download the app now or visit SeatGeek.com to get tickets to sports, concerts, and live events and make your butt happy. SeatGeek. Get your seat in a seat.
How great would it be to travel to watch the Cowboys win on another team's turf? Pretty great. But honestly, just watching the game from anywhere but your house would be fun. Even a hotel bar with some guy named Phil from St. Louis who thinks Oakland still has a team. So whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com. Proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, Cowboy fans, if you're thinking about attending a game this season, visit CowboysTravel.com to book your travel package today. Stay at the team hotel, have dinner with a Cowboys legend, and experience the best sports venue in the world, AT&T Stadium. Also, tour the Star, get autographs from your favorite players, and talk X's and O's with me, Mickey Spagnola. The official travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys will take care of all your travel needs. Visit CowboysTravel.com to book your package today.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Get the ultimate fan experience for the ultimate Cowboys fan. Join Dallas Cowboys United, presented by Globe Life, starting at just $20. Join now and get your fan pack, exclusive benefits, and more. Visit DallasCowboys.com/United for deals today. Join now. I am in Kurt Daniels in the big boy chair for our man Shannon Gross, who, as our buddy Philippe says, is probably off canceling his trip to Mexico. But we've got the gospel Jesse in one corner. We've got
the drummer,
our man Nate Newton in the studio drumming.
We got all Madden Nate Newton.
All Madden Nate Newton.
I gotta go.
Can't
see
ask for
Coach.
better than that.
Yeah, I gotta go see Coach after the season.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
But
before the break, there you go.
Can I go?
Yeah. Don't ask that. You know where it leads. You know what happens. All right, let's get back into it. Before the break, you had brought up Amari Cooper again. He came out last Thursday, and I believe on our flagship station, and admitted he was frustrated. He wanted to see more targets. We haven't really had a chance to talk about that. What did you guys first think when you heard that? And then going into last night's game, were you impressed with what happened, I guess?
I was so happy. I'm like, Jess backed me here, and we've been saying it's only two people on our team that can dictate coverage, and one haven't been able to dictate nothing recently, and that's Zeke. The other guy that can dictate coverage is Amari, because when Amari catches on fire, they gotta double team him or shade him somehow, some way, and I was so happy that he spoke up, and now. Kellen back to calling great plays. No, he figured out if I throw to Amari, a whole lot of plays gonna work. Right or wrong, Jess?
No, absolutely. And the thing is about being an offensive coordinator, a lot of times you don't have to come up with these great extravagant plays where guys are looping and cutting and turning. No, just get the ball to the really good guy. Like that, a lot of times alleviates you having to have these magical plays, right? Get the ball to the guy who has been a perennial Pro Bowler. Get the ball to the guy who's one of the best route runners in the league. To Nate's point, also get the guy to the ball you're paying $1 million to. There's no way in the world that Amari Cooper should be top 3 in salary and bottom third of the league in targets. That and he's actually playing in games. That doesn't even make any sense. And you watch teams around the league. You watch, when Tom Brady is with Godwin and Evans. Antonio Brown has missed the last 3 games from suspension and the last 4 games before that, or 3 games before that with injury. His first game back, he has 10 catches for over 100 yards and a touchdown. You get the ball to the best players as much as you possibly can because they can do special things. So you don't, again, for Kellen Moore, you don't have to be the boy wonder. Just be the smart boy and get it to 19 and get it to the guys who can make plays.
What do you think about that right there,
I was kind of impressed. Oh, yeah. He's preaching. I love it. But what I was impressed, though, because we saw this back in the day. I mean, Des Bryant, he would let it be known that he wanted the ball. And you saw games where Romo forced it in there, and it just didn't work. Well, for whatever reason, they couldn't connect. And so I was a little worried coming in this game that same thing might happen. But obviously, for whatever reason, it clicked right from the start. I mean, I think at least 3 or 4 times in those first 2 drives, he went to Cooper. Obviously, the first play of the game, he went to Cooper. They tried that little pitch back to him, Cedric Wilson. I mean, it was obviously going to be a focus, and like you said, it opened everything up, which was amazing.
One is a route runner and the other one's not. That's the simple fact. I'm not going back. If you didn't get it, I'm sorry. I'm not going back. What do you think, Jess?
No, I agree with you. And, to continue on the Amari Cooper topic, like you said, Kurt, when you get him involved, other guy gets involved. I mean, when was the last time that you saw a team have more than, I think, 5 guys over 50 yards? Like 5 guys had over 50 yards receiving, right? And now what you're getting is Amari's doing well on the outside. CeeDee's consistently catching the ball. You know Michael Gallup's going to give you a big play. But I think the one thing that we're seeing that can almost be, when I say MVP, I mean on a very small scale MVP, right? It's like most valuable participant, not most valuable player. It's Dalton Schultz.
Yes, sir.
It's his ability now. His ability now to work that middle is something that you're going to need. And look at the good teams. He's not Gronk. He's not Travis Kelce. And no one is, right? He's not Waller or one of those guys. And none of those guys, not many people can be those guys. But what you see from Dalton Schultz now, it's the chain moving. It's him having 8 catches for 80 yards and 6 of his catches be for first downs. Those are the things that you want to see, because now it goes back to, I always have an outlet, a safety net for Dak Prescott with Dalton Schultz. And now once I get Amari involved earlier, that opens up everything else. And that's how you get that offense back to being humming again, is that get the ball to number 1, right? Get him going early. And again, it doesn't have to be a go route. It doesn't have to be an 80-yard touchdown. No, a 5-yard out route, a hitch route, something that where he's getting into a rhythm. And now I'm able to get the ball to Schultz, run the ball a little bit. Oh, now I got deep overs and I got dig routes for CeeDee Lamb, tough yards over the middle. Boom, he's hitting. And now once everybody starts biting up, now I can take shots down the field of Michael Gallup and such. And you're going to need all of these guys as we head into the playoffs. You're going to need all of these guys on a consistent basis. We don't have time for a guy to be off in the playoffs, right? You lose, you go home. There's no next week. We need these guys, Schultz, Cooper, Lamb, Gallup, Pollard, all of them to be consistently performing, and for Dak to be consistently getting them the ball in spots where they can be successful.
Lamb was a guy last night. I mean, go ahead, man.
Go ahead. You should say something about the receivers. Go ahead on. Sorry.
Well, Lamb was just, he got a lot of criticism last week for his drops, and you saw him take some pretty brutal hits last night and hang on to the ball. I mean, was that all a part of, again, back to Cooper saying, I'm frustrated, I need to do better? That bled over into guys like Lamb, who's like, okay, we're going to take this up a notch.
You hear the
whistle. Well, the criticism was rightfully so.
Yes.
Right? And the reason being is we watch what he did last night and he makes those tough catches, and then we watch what he did a week ago and we go, well, what the hell, bro? Like you catching the ball and you're getting, hit in the back and you get knocked around and you still hold on to the ball. The other passes, you're wide open and you're dropping them. So we're going to criticize when we know that you can do it, right? It's not like we're asking you to do things that are over what you're able to do. We're seeing you do it in tougher situations. So when you get to lesser situations and you don't get it done, you're damn right you're going to get the criticism every single time.
Because it's all about moving the chains a lot of time, helping your defense. Because it is proven, if our defense can have 28 or less minutes on that field, you got some wild dudes coming out there trying to hurt folks. You don't want them to be spending 30 minutes on the field, 32 minutes on the field. You want that on the offensive end, so these guys can stay fresh. They showed a graphic last night where each one of these defensive linemen is averaging like 30 plays at the max. 30 plays. You know the draft? I mean, the rush that these guys are putting up on our offensive line, especially offensive line like the Redskins, who was kind of beat up. That was ugly.
The Washington football team.
Yeah, if you say so. They whatever we want to call them. Beat to death, Washington. Capital punishment, Washington.
That's right.
The reserves, Washington. That's
right. There you go.
Yeah.
The Washington Generals.
You call them whatever. Yeah. They need to be in the USFL if we got them on that. Yeah. Yes.
Nice. I got one more offensive, well, maybe two more offensive questions, and then maybe we'll take a break, come back, talk a little defense. But I was surprised, at the end of the game, I was surprised that Zeke only had 37 yards.
No.
Because he ran, it seemed like, with such more authority. I mean, that end around on the left side where the deep, Lyle Collins pulled all the way over and the blocking out front. I mean, the running game wound up with 108 yards, but you saw, I think, Zeke run with more authority, and perhaps the line do some different things to make it work. Did you guys see that?
They got outside and they was pulling. Zeke had a little bit, he was moving better. His mobility was better. But all it takes is the threat. And Zeke became a threat again last night, along with Tony Pollard doing his thing. Now, you notice they didn't need him. After the second quarter, hey, rest him because the game was out of hand. And so they didn't need it. So they did it in the first quarter, and it was all you needed to do. I mean, how many points they scored there in the first quarter? It was ugly, man. And then they so mad today, like, man, I ain't gonna touch the offensive line. I'm gonna go beat up my teammate. So a dude just jump on his teammate. He's so frustrated. I'm going, but knock my teammate out. I can't beat the Cowboys.
Oh man!
But I think one of the things they did in the running game, Kurt, was they rushed on the edges. Right? They got outside, and even Zeke with his limited bursts, he doesn't have that anymore. He was able to still make some hay. And when you look at overall what they did, the Cowboys put together a game's worth of productivity and a half. At halftime, Dak had 321 yards passing. Yeah. Not Zeke, but the running backs had 78 yards rushing. At halftime, you could have stopped the game then, right? That game was over. It was over then. You could have stopped it and let people start going home early, or get the dude who throws the frisbee to the dog, or what's the other lady named Red Panda who does the little kick bowls at the halftime of the game. You could have had a different show going on out there. So the running game did what you needed it to do. 78 yards and a half is, to me, equivalent, to when you look at that game, it's 28-7 or it's 35-7 at halftime. Yeah. It's over. So 78 yards rushing and 321 yards passing in a dominant performance, that's all you need. And that's all you really need from this offense, is just being able to like Nate said, have a presence of a running game. Right. I don't know if it's going to be dominant again, but having a presence and being able to run the ball in some capacity is what they need, especially when Dak is humming like that.
All right. Okay, let's take our second break. When we come back, we do need to talk about the defense a little bit, because like Nate said early in the show, I mean, they might be the real story here again. And what else? I'd like to maybe get your thoughts, see if you've ever seen anything like what happened on that Redskins bench, if that's ever seen, you've seen that yourselves on your teams you played for. And who knows that? We got special teams to talk about. There's so much to talk about. But we will be right back on Hangin'
Victory Monday!
Brace yourself for an existential question. Has your butt been having enough fun lately? Have you been treating it well? Has it been going places? If not, then it's about time you start using SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the best way to get your butt tickets to live events. Just ask the thousands of other butts who have rated it the #1 ticketing app. So what are you waiting for? Download the app now or visit SeatGeek.com to get tickets to sports, concerts, and live events and make your butt happy. SeatGeek. Get your seat in a seat.
It's game day. You know what that means. First, kebab prep. Steak, pepper, onion, steak, pepper, onion. Next, a counterclockwise lap around the room. Now the lucky grease-stained jersey goes on. And lastly, the dance. You know the one. This is a game day ritual no matter where you are. Whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com and keep the tradition alive and well. Hotels.com, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
At AT&T, everyone, new and existing customers, get our best deals on every smartphone. Why? Because you deserve it. We're turning your living room into your office and your gym. We're teaching Grandma how to video call and teaching her again.
It's the button on your left, Nana. Okay, your other left.
It's not complicated. Everyone deserves something new. So AT&T is giving everyone, new and existing customers, our best deals with every unlimited plan on every smartphone, even the latest ones.
AT&T may temporarily slow data speeds if the network is busy. Restrictions and exceptions may apply.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party?
Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Your favorite WWE superstars return to AT&T Stadium for WrestleMania on Saturday, April 2nd and Sunday, April 3rd, 2022. Get your tickets to the most stupendous two-night WrestleMania in history. Visit SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing provider of AT&T Stadium. We are back. I'm Kurt Daniels filling in for Shannon Gross. Our man Jesse Holly is here and Nate Newton, and we are breaking down this beatdown of a game last night. We've hit a lot of the offensive side of the ball, but the defense. What is this guy? What's the next step? What are these guys capable of? Is it going to get even better?
Just keep playing, because the competition only gets better and gets tougher. And as long as our offense can score first or stay even, our defense can keep rushing that pass and keep making things happen, because, other coordinators get a little shaky. The other quarterbacks get a little shaky, and they get the feeling like if I don't throw it, we can't win the game. But then that falls right into the bear trap of what Coach Quinn is trying to do, make you just become one-dimensional. And these guys, they eating and feasting, man. They making plays, and man, it's just manifesting itself all over the field.
Yeah. How much of this continued resurgence is DeMarcus Lawrence coming back? He had a heck of a play last night for sure. Me
and Jesse, we rapped about this weeks ago. Can't wait to DeMarcus Lawrence get back, because it ain't no more who we are and what talking about it, and he is being about it. He coming out. He ain't doing much talking. He's just straight up playing, man. And you see it. I like how they brought him back, Jess. They made sure he was 100% healthy, in good shape, and they ramped him up right. And now he's playing 35 plays a game at most, and he's crushing folks. They got him over the 3 technique, over either guard he will play, and he's still rushing from his outside position. So, and now he's truly one-on-one with the other 3 guys that they got up front in Gallimore and the young Parsons and Gregory. I mean, who do you turn to? You can't. I mean, it is ugly.
Yeah, you can't. No, you're absolutely right, Nate. And one of the things that, Dan Quinn did, and we sometimes, not everybody, but we sometimes forget that Dan Quinn cut his teeth in the league as a defensive line coach and worked his way up to eventually being a head coach or being one of the most recognizable defensive coordinators in the league. So when you talk about having that front, I think Dan Quinn sits in his office sometimes and he sits back and he has his hands behind his head and he's just laughing because he's saying, look what I can do up front. When was Jaron Kearse last night, got a sack. We haven't even seen many, slot blitzes or safety blitzes or cat blitzes or anything like that, because he's just saying, I got so much up front to just wheel and deal with. And like you said, I can now move Tank inside. I can line up Micah outside. I can swap sides on these guys. I can have slants and have a guy loop all the way around. I can bring Micah from depth. I can drop guys into coverage. And so for Dan Quinn, he has been fortunate to have the talent that Will McClay has given this football team prior to Micah Parsons becoming a part of it. And now you add the piece of Micah Parsons, and then you add that back-end piece that Dan Quinn brought in and saw in those guys, and your Jaron Kearses and your Hookers of the Worlds and your Wilson and all those other guys. He's playing with house money, and he's literally just saying, I'm having so much fun. My hat's turned back. I'm up in the booth, and I'm literally just taking the leash off all of these dogs and just letting them go be dogs. And missing Randy Gregory for a short amount of time, missing Tank Lawrence for an extended period of time. Missing certain guys has given those other guys those meaningful reps. Your Bashams of the world, your Watkins of the world, has given them reps. So now you trust them. You don't have to dumb down your scheme because those guys were playing in games where you were ramping your scheme up. So they understand it, they know it, and it's this infectious energy that it's around this defense. Everybody wants to make plays. And when you got 11 guys who want to make plays on the defense, you got a damn good defense because those guys are running, they're humming, they're going, and they're motivating each other. I listened to Neville Gallimore talk, and he said, man, when I was out with that elbow injury, the guys made me still stay involved. He said, man, but I was chomping at the bits because I was seeing how everybody was eating out there. He's like, everybody's eating, and you want to be a part of that. Yeah. And everybody's eating out there, and Dan Quinn is just saying, I got a plethora of weapons. I got all pros. I got defensive player of the years. I got potentially defensive rookie. I had the defensive rookie of the year. I got 2 potential defensive players of the years. I got Pro Bowlers up front. I got this guy. I got first round picks over here who nobody wanted anymore, and I got guys over. He just has a wealth of talent on that defense, and he's putting it to work. Let's enjoy our time with Dan Quinn because it may be short lived.
let's one play, man, early in the game, man, where he had everybody standing up, and he had Gregory over the left guard, but he was 3 or 4 yards back, standing up, and behind him he had Michael Parsons, and he blitzed right into that left guard, man. And at the last minute, with all that speed, your boy Parsons just took off. The center barely saw him, man. It barely got just little. Man, when your X's and O's can't touch my what you call it, Joes and whatever.
My Jimmys and Joes.
Man, give me talent, but give me talent that understands what I need done. It's hard to beat that, man. He move them everywhere. And I tell people, last year, guys were standing up and nobody could understand the defense. Well, now everybody's standing up and everybody understands defense because he puts you in a better position to be who you are and what you need to be. And when players see that, they rally around you.
Yeah, you're right. Last year, I can remember DeMarcus Lawrence. I think he even complained a little bit because he was having to stand up. He wanted his hand on the ground. But obviously, talent is the biggest factor. But the scheme and even the want to now. Are you seeing is the mental side of it is what is taking them to the next level?
This guy and the ownership had to buy into this. We're going to get rid of some guys, Coach. If you want to change and become better, we're going to get rid of some guys. And guys that, had the smart remarks on, you don't need to run all the time and you don't need to do this and you don't, they're no longer here. You do need to run all the time because we're going to cut your reps now. We're going to give you a specific thing to do, and we're going to need you to do it wide open. And everybody has to run to the ball, and now you see that. Everybody believes, and winning just makes it worse. When you're winning, everybody believes, and everybody's trying to get there. And I'm with you, Jess. Everybody worry about Kellum leaving. And I said at the beginning of the year, you better watch out and hope our defensive coordinator don't leave. That's what you better hope.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, we got just a couple more minutes here.
So we got Jesse's corner. Since we had Kurt corner,
now Jesse's corner. Well, I do want to do one quick question. Do we need to start showing Faso a little love for those special teams? We criticized him early. He's taking a lot of beatings early on, but man, the special teams are really rolling right now, aren't they?
I like the punter. I like the way they cover, and I still ain't going along with the kicker. So I give him 75%. That's about it for me.
Bro, I've never seen somebody non-special teams cape for a kicker a punter as much as you. Like I don't know what it is. Like what is anger?
He's a part of the defense. He's a part of the defense, Jess. He is a part of.
Got some of them old Nate Newton naked photos from back in the day at the White House that he holding on to.
You know what? You can't even. They wouldn't even know if they showed them old naked photos. They wouldn't even realize what it was. What that, like hippo? They wouldn't even recognize it. So I ain't worried about that. I'm just saying he's part of the defense.
Okay, I got you, brother. I got you hands down. I think for Fossil it's 50-50 because, a lot of times you're not criticizing people when they're doing well. And John Fossil early in the year wasn't doing well. I mean, he was calling blocks when there shouldn't have been calling blocks and then running into the kicker. He's still on the hook for this Greg Zuerlein. Like, that's still his guy. And last week he missed the extra points last week. Like it ain't like we too far removed from this, but he does cut himself some bail when you go out there and you got 3 blocks on the season and 2 touchdowns and you got a return touchdown for a return was a kickoff or a punt for a touchdown. So I mean, it's still the jury's still out on Bones because he could still get a little freaky. And he still has Greg the Leg as our kicker, and I pray and hope that he never costs us a game in the playoffs. But he has turned it around, and he has given this team a significant amount of success via special teams.
Because he's a threat.
All right, we got to get out of here.
He's always a threat.
He's a threat, that's for sure.
Yeah, to do wrong. But anyway, go ahead on. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, we got to get out of here. Chris is having a hectic day back there in the studio.
Yeah, he's been grabbing his head and rubbing his face. Man, you look like Nate doing all that.
That's why they pay him $500,000 a year.
That's right. Thank you, Jesse, for preaching the gospel as always.
Jesse.
Nate, thank you, sir.
The drummer.
Drummond, the drummer. Shannon, we missed you today.
Foreigner, baby.
Your Mexico tickets canceled. Will, thanks for getting us up. Thank you, fans, for putting up with us today. Hopefully we'll hear from you tomorrow. Maybe we'll be able to take some calls. But all right, boys, Victory Monday. Enjoy the rest of it. We'll be back tomorrow.
Love you guys, man. Good. I'm glad for who shows up, man. Find that big-headed dude. All right.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?